Hey, welcome back. If you're sick of just playing the same sort of 6 chords and are ready to move on from the harmonized major scale, this video could be for you. You can always transition from a 4 to a minor 4 or from a minor 4 to a 1. So in case you're not aware, we use numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 when we're numbering the notes, like in a major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. We just use numbers. We use Roman numerals if we're referring to chords. Sometimes people just use all capitals for the Roman numerals, and often they'll have capitals to indicate major and lowercase to indicate minor. So what I've written there is you can always transition from 4 major to 4 minor, or from 4 minor to 1. There's a load of examples there of songs, and I've got to credit David Bennett for that. So I'll put a link in the description. He's got a great video up on just this topic, and yeah, all kudos to him for identifying this list of songs where they do transition from a 4 major to a 4 minor, or from a minor 4 to a 1. If you don't really understand or are a bit unsure about what a 4 chord is, don't you worry, I've got you covered, and I'll be explaining that in a minute or so. And for now, let's simply pick up a guitar and give you a couple of examples in a couple of different keys so you can hear what this sounds like. In the key of C, a 4 chord is an F. So you'll have often heard F to C. And we can easily make our F into a minor. Sound. In the key of G, our 4 chord is a C, and you may well recognize this chord progression. That's a 3 chord B minor. C major, 4 chord major to minor. In the key of D, our 4 chord is a G, 5 chords an A, and our 1 chord's a D. So we could go. Minor 4. Tip number 2. You can always convert your 3 chord, which is normally minor, into a major chord, or maybe even more common, a dominant 7, which we normally wouldn't use the word dominant. So you could take an E minor in the key of C and just play an E or an E7. Let's see what that sounds like. So have you ever seen how you might have a B7 going to an E minor in the key of G? So in the key of G, a 3 chord or a 3 note, 1, 2, 3, is a B. That would normally be a minor chord. I'm in 2 minds whether to get into any explanations other than, if you think of E,
So on guitar, let's just say this. On guitar, 1, 4, 5, because I'm doing a lot of talking about 1, 4, 5s here. Here's how to locate 1, 4, 5. If it's on the 6th string that you're starting, if that's the 1, and the same fret on the 5th string is 4, 2 frets up is 5. Okay, anywhere on the 6th string, that's an F, the 4 of F, B flat, 2 frets up, the 5 of F, C. So that's how you locate 1, 4, 5 from the 6th string. From the 5th string, so if I'm playing a C, so that's my 1, same fret, 5, 2 frets down, 4. So anywhere on the 5th string. Okay, so there's an E flat. So the 5 of E flat is B flat and the 4 is G sharp. So, and it's the same with the minor keys. So when we're in the key of E, 1, A is our 4, B is our 5. When we're going B minor to E minor, it's okay, but it doesn't have that satisfying sound of a 5-1. If we make the B into a B major, it sounds far more like a 5-1, that satisfying resolution. So in the key of G, any B minor, not any bit, I mean, this is when you're composing or making something up. You can't just take a song that's got a B minor in it and go, oh, I'll go B major. But it's always going to work to go stick a B major in instead of a B minor when you're composing or making stuff up. In the key of C, our 3 chord is an E minor. So if you're playing in the key of C, you can always make your E into an E major instead of an E minor.
Before I can leap into tip number 1, there's a bit of prior knowledge required. So I'm going to cover a couple of things to best ensure that we're on the same page and you understand. Number 1 thing that I think you really just need to suck it up and learn this. There are 12 notes in music and you need to know the names. Here they are. Be aware that every sharp has a flat name, every flat has a sharp name. So A sharp and B flat, same notes. C sharp, D flat, same notes. These notes are all a semitone away from each other, as in A to A sharp is a semitone, A sharp or B flat to B is a semitone, B to C is a semitone. So with my students, I tend to say to them, hey, do you know the Shakespeare quote, to be or not to be? Because the word be is spelt B-E, there is no B sharp, there is no E sharp. Therefore, there's no C flat. Or you could say that C flat is B, or F flat is E, insofar as sharp means a semitone higher and flat means a semitone lower. So learn these and it's always going to be useful. So I'm briefly recapping which chords go well together, parts 1 and 2, which were 2 videos I did a long time ago. So the major scale step pattern is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Or in American, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. In the example of the key of G, we need to actually reference our list of all our notes. So let's just jump this up. Here's our list of all our notes in music. So from a G, we go up a tone. There's the G there, a tone up from G, G sharp, A. Tone up from A gives us a B. Semitone from B gives us a C. Tone up from C gives us a D. And then we have an E. From an E, going up a tone gives us an F sharp. And our final step is a semitone from the F sharp to the G. So that's how we can work out any major scale. It's very easy to Google or look up or have a list. but now you know how to work them out from scratch. All you need to remember is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Harmonising the major scale. Basically, we take a note, miss a note, take a note, miss a note, take a note. People also call it piling on thirds, but I don't want to get into that terminology at the moment. So you can hit just every other note. G, B, D. Right? Starting with the G, G, B, D. That gives us a G major chord. Starting on the second note, A, C, E. That gives us an A minor. Starting on the third note, B, B, D, F sharp. I think you can see the pattern here. I certainly hope so. So all you need to remember to convert your major scale into a group of chords, you need major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp, diminished. That's to 3 notes. We can also harmonise to 4 notes and beyond, to be honest, but this is what we're settling for now. And we're concentrating on just the 6 chords that are a major and minor. So in the chord of G, our 1, 4, 5, a G, C and D, that's our major chords. Our 6, 2, 3 are E minor, A minor and B minor. You're now ready for my tip number 1 for this video. So tip number 1 for this video is modulate to adjacent keys. I've said that that's either the key for the 4 chord or the 5 chord for the key that you're currently in. So I showed you early on in this video how to locate the 4 and 5 chords for any chord that's got a root on the 6th string and or any chord that's got a root on the 5th string. So I've already shown you how to find the 4 and 5 chords. I appreciate that a lot of guitarists aren't familiar with the circle of fifths. However, if you are, 1 step anti-clockwise is the 4 chord. The circle of fifths is also the circle of fourths. And 1 step clockwise gives you your 5. So whether you're looking at a guitar or looking at the circle of fifths, you can easily locate which keys are adjacent to the key that you're in. In the key of G, our 1, 4, 5 are G, C and D. So with the information I gave you earlier in this video, it's really easy to determine what the chords are in the key of C and what the chords are in the key of D. And here they are. So here are the major scales: G major scale, C major scale and D major scale, and the subsequent chords we get by harmonizing each of those. Huge amounts of crossover because they are so similar. They are almost the same key. This is why it works, to modulate to adjacent keys. As I say, you can modulate from any key to any key, and it requires more and more skill in order to do so the further musically removed from each other those keys are. Adjacent, very easy, you don't need any skill, just swap between them and I'm suggesting it'll work. So you know, the chords of C, G, E minor, an A minor in all 3 keys. So when we combine, although the 6 chords in each key, it doesn't give us 18 chords, it gives us 10 chords. So here are the 10 chords. So what I'm suggesting here is that we've gone from 1 key, the key of G, and we've ended up with 10 chords. And you can do this from any key. Okay, so if you're in the key of C, you'd go, right, 1, 4, 5 is C, F and G. Convert the F major scale to chords, G we've got here. Follow this procedure and you'll end up with 10 chords that work well together. So here are our 10 chords. I've just put them in alphabetical order. All right, we've got A and A minor, we've got B minor, C and D minor, E minor, F and F sharp minor and G. So to wrap this video up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my guitar. I think I'll show you a few of my favorite grips for some of these chords and maybe just throw a few of them together for you to see how it just works. Okay, here goes.
Something I haven't mentioned yet is I generally tend to choose keys where all the open strings are in the key. And that's true of these three keys, G, C and D. So any chord that you're playing anywhere on the neck, you could expose any of the open strings and it's going to sound good. So for instance, here's one of my favourite A minor chords. It's not a bar chord, but I'm right up at the 5th and 7th frets. I'm not using my bottom E string, but I could, because an A minor has an E in it. That's an A. This is also an A. That's the minor third, and the open B string gives us a 9. So that's an A minor 9. Top E gives me my 5. I also love an A sus2. I think that's lovely. Well, if I go like that, which is a bit cramped with my fat fingers. I don't play it like that. I play it like that because I just can't fit my sausage fingers in. This is an F sharp minor 7, okay, and I'm muting my A string. I've got my open B string, which makes it an F sharp minor 11. Beautiful. Up here, 5th fret, 2nd string, 6th fret, 3rd string, 7th fret, 4th string. It just came to mind because I was mentioning my sausage fingers. If I try and do A here, they don't fit in. It's A here. So that's a big favourite of mine for an A, simply for an A major. I was putting my pinky in on the 3rd string at the 7th fret. That gave me an A sus4. B minor, if instead of barring, I only push down the 5th string, leave my top string open. A lot easier than a bar chord, not that I have difficulty with bar chords. But it gives me a B minor 7 because my top E is the flat 7 in the key of B, or relative to the B major scale. That's how we name and number chords. I'll do another video on that, so forget I said that. C, if you know the 4th finger C. Notice that you can just slide that up for a very interesting D chord. So if I was doing G, C and D, I could go. So that gives us a D. Something else that I'm not going to work out right now. It's got a, well, shall I? Maybe I shouldn't be lazy. No, I'm just going to say it's a type of D chord. When it comes to D, I often much prefer F sharp over D, like that. So when you've got D, that's an F sharp note. That must be an F sharp note as well, because they're both tuned the same, the top and bottom strings. So instead of playing that, I'm taking this note and playing up there. I wouldn't finger it like that, so I swap those two fingers around. So now if I'm, say, going G, D, E minor. Instead of a weak, thin E minor, I've got a big fat D, sorry, instead of a weak D. I say weak because it's a bit thin compared to the... Well, I can strum for my 5th string and that makes it a bit thicker. But mainly, actually, instead of thickness, is the bass line, you see. I've got... lovely running bass line if I play my D over F sharp instead of just that D. So that's a favourite as well. F, there's no getting around. It's mainly a bar chord, but if you play it like that, C to F. With the open E strings, it's actually an F major 7. That's fine. If you're in the key of F, that's fine. If you're in the key of C, it's a beautiful chord, a major 7. And F sharp minor, which is generally a bar chord. If you struggle with bars, try doing a minor like that. So I've got my fifth, my root, and my flat 3. So it's F sharp minor, but I'm playing the top 2 strings open. That makes it a minor 11, I think.
I'm recording 100 videos in 100 days, one every single day. Sometimes I joke about why did I do this? It's obvious, it's marketing, it's promotion. So if you have any appreciation of what I'm doing and you're looking for maybe some guitar lessons, either one-to-one or in a group format, please do give me a shout. My rates are pretty reasonable, and even if they're too much for you to pay one-on-one, and I do teach over Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, if that's too pricey for you, I'm doing group sessions every week as well, again over Zoom, and it works out at under £7, like under $10 for 2 hours. So I'm doing those masterclasses, I call them masterclasses, every week. So yeah, don't be shy, get in touch. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you'll join me tomorrow. Please do like, comment and share, subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye for now. Take care.